welcome to my channel. So for today's rock, the supplies I'm using is a rock made from a mold by the Happy Dotting Company, fluorescent pink acrylic paint, fluorescent yellow acrylic paint, black acrylic paint, white acrylic paint, flow medium by Folk Art, and galaxy glitter by Glitter and Grand. And resin is optional. All the supplies I use in this video are linked to Amazon in the description below. So let's get started. So I started off by painting my rock white with titanium white. Now I'm airbrushing my rock, and the only reason why I'm doing that is because it leaves a very smooth layer of paint, but you can use a paintbrush to apply your paint. You can use paint daubers. Whatever method works best for you is fine. Again, I'm only doing this because it leaves my rock kind of silky smooth. So now that my rock is completely painted white and is dry, I'm airbrushing on the fluorescent pink paint in just a random pattern. I want to leave areas of white showing because then I'm going to go over that with yellow, and when the two blend, they're going to create areas of orange. So you can see I just did a random pattern, and I airbrushed mine on. Again, you could use a paintbrush, you could use paint daubers. Both methods would work just as well. So now I'm airbrushing on the fluorescent yellow. And again, where the two colors overlap is going to create a real pretty fluorescent orange. And so, but I want it took a couple of layers of paint because I want my yellow to be really bright. And you can see my airbrush was kind of sputtering, kind of spitting paint and leaving like paint specks everywhere. I wasn't even worried about that. I just think it adds to the character of the rock. Now I'm going back over the pink areas to make sure they were, dark enough, vibrant enough. And unfortunately, the fluorescent colors don't show up correctly on the video. It's not true to the actual color. Because like here it just looks orange, but you can distinctly see the difference between the orange and the pink. The pink on the paper towel is more like what is on the rock. So now that layer of paint is completely dry, I'm going to take some black acrylic paint . Can't decide if I want it on the raised up or not. Sometimes when I airbrush, I like it raised up. Now I'm using Golden's fluid acrylic paint. You can use tube paint. Either one works. I like the fluid paints when you're going to kind of draw out a design with paint. I feel like it flows a little bit better. And by using a fluid paint, I don't have to dilute the black so it doesn't turn it to kind of a gray. And I'm using a nail brush, a nail painting brush, nail art brush. Oh, I guess I actually switched over to my Holotap brush. I'm using one of the two. I will have it listed below in the description. This is the Holotap. These are detailed paint brushes, not specifically for nail art. So now I'm going in and just painting in my flower design. This can be however you want it. So I didn't even pencil it in. And I wanted my petals to be kind of wonky. So if you shake when you have to paint, this is perfect. Because I shake when I paint. So I wanted that effect on my petals. I didn't want my petals to be real smooth. So I kind of exaggerated the shakiness of my hands as I painted these on. And I'm painting the centers completely black and then doing the big petals. And you want your petals to kind of overlap. So you want the flowers to look kind of crowded on the rock. So now I'm going to go in and paint all of the spaces between the flowers. I'm going to paint that all black. And the contrast between the fluorescent colors and the black just really makes this rock pop. It's just really pretty in person. And I haven't resined it yet. I kind of love the flat matte look of it, and I haven't decided if I want to go ahead and resin it or not. Sometimes it takes me a couple of weeks to decide exactly what I want to do with the finish, because sometimes the resin always makes the colors pop, but sometimes you lose that matte effect, and I feel that certain rocks look really good with that matte paint. So if you follow me on Facebook, if I do decide to resin the rock, I will show it over on my Facebook page. And if you are uncomfortable painting out your flower design, I will have the traceable file for this rock over on my private Facebook group, which is Rocking It with April May. I will have the link in the description below. So now that I have the background all painted black, I decided I wanted to add some kind of pizzazz to this. It just felt a little bland, and I wanted to add a black glitter, but not a solid black glitter. I wanted some color in the black glitter. So I had some called Galaxy by Glitter and Grand, but it's just straight glitter. So I grabbed some of my floating medium, which is acrylic base with no pigment, and I mixed in my glitter to create a glitter paint. And it worked really well. This is the first time I've ever done this. And so I was so pleased because I have very limited colors of glitter paint, but I have a ton of colors in just straight glitter. And so now that I know that this method works, I'll be doing this a lot more often in the future. And this is a chunky glitter. It's actually got fine glitter and chunky glitter kind of mixed in together. And there's like reds and blues and greens and purples, so it kind of gives that galaxy effect. But it added just the perfect kind of pizzazz, the pop that this rock kind of needed. And I'm just adding this to all of the black centers and then the black space between the flowers. Titanium white, and I'm adding kind of the shine marks on the flowers, just to add another little level of interest to the rock. And again, if you have a shaky hand, that works perfect because our petals have a little bit of a wave to them. So the shine marks having a little bit of a wave to them just fits perfect with the way the petals are shaped. And I was going to add white to the glitter, but that didn't work very well. I didn't like the way it looked, so I'm doing that here, but I'm going to go in and take it all off. See, now I'm going back over with some black paint and covering that up. So just ignore that step. Some things are just trial and error. Now that my white is dry, I'm going back over it again because I want it to be a real bright white. And I use Liquitex Basics, which are kind of translucent, so sometimes you'll need a second coat to get that full opaque white effect. So you can see how simple this rock was. If you already have a glitter paint that you want to use for your background, then that's perfect. You don't even need the flow medium. But if you don't, you now know that you can make your own glitter paint. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.